And what I was worried about was that it would turn into not so much a non-learning environment, but more of a social environment where it was, oh, now we're all friends. Now we're afraid to give ourselves the best criticism to make ourselves better at what we wanted to do. And I mean, I'd seen that in numerous classes where I would take a class and it just, after we became friends, we quit giving ourselves constructive criticism. That was one of the other worries, but I assure you that all three of those worries I didn't have to deal with. I didn't have to deal with any of them. Constructive criticism, we never stopped with that. It was still fun. I still have a social circle. I plan on keeping in touch with everybody in that class, but it was, hey, we put in the work. That's what we did. Towing the line between, hey, we're still here to have fun, but we're still here to learn. And the emphasis was we're here to learn. And I joked about we're like the MIT of film classes. It was this structure. This is we're here to learn. No one's here to blow smoke. I was afraid that I wouldn't get a system out of it, and I definitely got a system out of it. Now that I actually am doing like film work and all that, I feel better about like I feel better about buying film related stuff because I feel like I'm doing it. You know how my name's Douglas Lee Jones, Doug Jones, DLJ. I have all the nicknames because my name's Doug. So I've been doing film for, I would say, close to 10 years on and off, close to 11. I guess if you consider the first thing I ever made was almost 13 years ago. So prior to me joining GTS, the problems, if you will, or the obstacles, one, I didn't have a system. That was the big thing. I was all over the place with how I wanted to do things. The system that I got from Get to Shooting allowed me not to just wait for the muse, as I always said, because there's always us artists always want to, I guess, make it more metaphysical than it should be. So that was the first one, just not having a system and focusing on too many things at once. I still joke about this. I was talking to my friend as I got into color grading, and I'm like, oh, I would shoot something nice and it didn't need to be color graded when I just needed to focus on just the basics. So I wasn't focusing on the right things. And then, I just didn't have a system in place that would allow me to constantly work on an idea. I would start to shoot something or get an idea, and then I would just have the idea, and then that was it. I might write it on paper. I might tell a friend about it. I just couldn't get it from the notepad to video. Yeah, looking back, the thing that made me go for this program versus the other programs, well, one, I actually did try a couple of programs, but they were just you pay for videos to watch on your own. But then the other thing was how this program was tailored for someone that didn't want to dabble and that was just stuck. And it was me going, okay, well, yeah, I am stuck. I had these great ideas, and I just need to get them moving. So I was a fan of the D for Darius channel. I had followed that. That was the first channel that helped me with my filmmaking. The style that was portrayed on that just spoke to me better, the entertainment factor and all that. And then in deciding the whole concept of Get to Shooting and the structure that was laid out before me, it just made sense that, okay, I start to dabble and I'm able to shoot here and there, but then I go months without shooting, and I go months without shooting, and then there's nothing. And then I get inspired again. So the main reason I got with the Get to Shooting program was to be more consistent with this filmmaking journey that I wanted to be on. That's the big thing. I felt that the program and then the structure and then the syllabus, if you will, just allowed me to do that for me personally. Some of the doubts that I had prior to joining the Get to Shooting program was just to be scared to have my work in front of people. Again, I like to call myself a filmmaker, but I haven't been consistently doing it. And I filmed mostly sketches and whatnot. So I didn't have a lot of expertise with lighting or even lens work. My work mostly was like I just would do sketches, but I wanted them to be more cinematic. And I knew that I was really novice with that. That was the first one. The second one was that I've taken a lot of classes before, not with film, but in terms of entertainment, comedy, acting. And what I was worried about was that it would turn into not so much a non-learning environment, but more of a social environment where it was, oh, now we're all friends. Now we're afraid to give ourselves the best criticism to make ourselves better at what we wanted to do. And I mean, I'd seen that in numerous classes where I would take a class and After we became friends, we quit giving ourselves constructive criticism. That was one of the other worries. And then the other one was that I wouldn't be able to learn the concepts. But I assure you that all three of those worries I didn't have to deal with. I didn't have to deal with any of them. Feeling welcomed and accepted, it was great. And then constructive criticism, we never stopped with that. And we learned it was still fun. I still have a social circle. I plan on keeping in touch with everybody in that class, but it was, hey, we put in the work. That's what we did. And then the other one was I was afraid that I wouldn't get a system out of it. And I definitely got a system out of it for filmmaking. The system that was in the Get to Shooting, it helped me in numerous ways. I had mentioned that I was having a hard time getting stuff from the notepad to film. And so I used to get excited about an idea, and then I would tell my friends about it, and then I'd maybe write it down, maybe write it out, and then that's where it would stop. This helped me with, okay, here's your idea. Here's how you execute that idea. It gave me the actual structure to take that next step from the idea to research to planning out the shoot to playing around with different shots. So that's where it helped out tremendously. It's not a formula by any means, but it's just a system to get you shooting. And it worked for me very much so. Shooting from day one, and just getting to shoot in action, it helped out tremendously. It was, we didn't talk about theory. It was like, okay, let's just shoot. I mean, it was abrupt at first, but I mean, I actually enjoyed it very much so because I just hadn't done it in a while. So this program and having me take action right off the bat helped me, one, starve fear, if you will. So there was no just time to think like, oh, what would happen if it would just, nope, shoot it. And then when I was done with it, it was just great. It was like, oh, hold on, I had to shoot something. I had a deadline. So it created momentum, but it also was a reminder for myself that, hey, you have to take action. Don't interrupt progress for perfection. You know, that's the main goal. In the program, having us shoot something right off the bat for assignment one, I enjoyed it, like I said, because it didn't allow you to sit around and think. It didn't allow you to wonder what could be the best shot. It just got you shooting, and then it built momentum that would allow you later on to like, hey, I got to find the shot. I enjoyed that experience very much. So getting feedback with my work throughout our class periods, I loved it. It was great, especially from you. The direction, and then also to just the classmates, my fellow classmates, they were just as involved. So I think it was fun for all of us to discover things at the same time and hear their feedback on it. So it kind of shortcutted the process, but it was also like a support group, right? I really enjoyed that. Halfway through it, it got to be kind of fun where I would shoot something, and then while I was watching it with my classmates and Darius, it was like, oh man, he's going to catch the dead space. Oh, why did I do that? So it was fun. And again, the class did a really, really good job of towing the line between, hey, we're still here to have fun, but we're still here to learn. And the emphasis was, we're here to learn. And I joked about, we're like the MIT of film classes. It was this structure. This is, we're here to learn. No one's here to blow smoke. And so that was one of my favorite things about the class. Also, too, it gave me more of an internal scoreboard in the sense that I didn't quite know where I was at with my filmmaking in terms of where I wanted to be and where I was. So it kind of gave me like more direction, like, okay, this is what I'd like to work on. Those are two big wins. And then also too, it's given me like a recharge. You know, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do in terms of filmmaking, but I now know that I can definitely do this if I wanted to. I'm no scrub. So if I put my head down, I can actually do this. The biggest thing I was hoping to get out of the program was a structure that I could use, a system that I could use that would allow me to shoot how I wanted to, but in addition, actually help me learn along the way. And I got it. And that was, okay, I want to learn how to shoot film, but I also want to get better at film. I kind of want there to be a scoreboard. I want there to be resources that I could use in the event that I would like to be a better filmmaker, or maybe I just, not even better, I just have a question about something. So it just gave me the structure. It gave me some lanes. It gave me lanes to be in and be out of. That was what I was hoping for. It definitely did that. And I was hoping for a big jolt of inspiration, and it definitely gave me that for sure. And I don't even think I was probably the least best in the class, but I still had a lot of fun with it and I enjoyed it. What would I tell somebody that was looking to join the program? I would share my experience with it. My obstacles with filmmaking, they're not unique to me. I don't think they were unique to my classmates, but I would say, hey, this is where I was as a filmmaker. I had a hard time getting my idea off the page. I had a hard time being motivated, but it wasn't until I took the class that it was like, no, you have to work without being motivated. So you can actually still do work without having to wait for motivation. All the stuff I learned in it as well. This the little nuggets, right? With, whether it be, oh, I was so worried about how the film looked when I just needed to worry about telling the story. It doesn't matter how your film looks. Granted, they won't forgive bad sound, but if you tell a good story, it doesn't matter. And then once you get to tell your good story, then you can start adding and layering stuff in terms of your color or your imagery. And so what's next for me after the whole Get to Shooting program? I think the biggest thing I'm going to do is take the challenge. I always wanted to make my comedy videos, if you will, more filmic sketches, or you film a sketch, you could do that on stage, but I wanted to make like a movie sketches. So I have some of those I want to shoot and make a show out of it. So whether it be a live show, if you can't make it, I'll just stream it on YouTube. And then my plan was to release them individually throughout the week for about a month, and then that month would allow me to shoot, to write more stuff and shoot it and have a show the following month. So I think that's the big thing that I'm working on. I think that's the thing I'm going to do. And the program is going to allow me to do that.